aika huivit ylös nostaa. SJK! Ei me luovuteta koskaan, ei koskaan. SJK! Jos et tajunnut tosta, niin se Seinäjoen jalkapallokerho. SJK! Ja muita joo, eikä tuu, se on meidän kerho. Pallo keskelleen.
Boy, I'm Mark.
And I'm Jules, and this is the Seinäjoki Football Supporters Podcast, bringing you news, reviews and interviews from SJK Seinäjoki.
But we're doing it in English for an international fan base. So, what's in this week's show, Jules?
Well, we'll look back at the last SJK game. Was that last year? Seems ages ago. Anyway, it was at home to KuPS, and we preview the final game of the Veikkausliiga, and that's away to Ilves in Tampere on Saturday.
Yeah, it's getting exciting. But before we look forward to that, I just thought we'd give one shout out. Wanted to say welcome to Kishan, who just moved to Seinäjoki to start studying, and I met him last week. Mentioned that I've got the Finnish Football Show podcast, and that you and I are making this podcast as well. And I don't think he'd been to a game yet, but he was interested. He's interested in watching a good game of football because he's a Man United fan.
Yeah, he's possibly starved then of a good game of football, isn't he?
Exactly right. So I think he's listened to some of the back catalogue, and he also jumped into the WhatsApp group. We talked about this before. Anyone that's a fan of SJK or maybe wants to become a fan, then they're welcome in there. He's joined
even if you're
group.
a Man United fan.
Yeah, well, there's Jyrki in there as well, and he's an Arsenal fan, so we're a very broad church. But Kishan, good to have you along for the ride, and I hope that we see you at the at least the one or possibly more home games coming up at the end of the season. We'll get to that a little bit later, maybe, Jules.
Yep, indeed. So shall we kick on with the review of the last game against KuPS, which was, how long ago was that?
It was only about 10 days ago. Yeah, it was, yeah.
But then, I mean, if you're not living in Finland, then it wasn't dark in the morning when you woke up. As it seems to be that nights are really kicking in now.
A lot has changed in that time. That's true. Yeah. And I was gutted I couldn't make this game. I've been ill with a kind of cough and cold, but a real beast for about four weeks, and that one came right in the middle of it. So we had to skip it, unfortunately, which is it's horrible when the game is taking place a couple of kilometers away and you just can't be there.
I think we did ourselves proud. I mean, the KuPS were there in numbers, but there wasn't many Klopit, I suppose, but we were loud. We were good enough. We gave a good account of ourselves.
It certainly wasn't KuPS's home game as they were, as their marketing was trying to make it out.
Yeah.
The game finished 1-0 to KuPS, which did their chances of becoming champions a lot of good, and I just wanted to sort of read out a couple of stats here firstly from the FOTMob, which is one that I use quite a bit, which is 59% possession to KuPS, 41% to us. But we had more shots. We had 7 shots, 4 on target. They had 5, 4 on target. I suppose the most important part is how many you get on target.
You see, I mean, there's always this expected goals and all that stuff, and I've always said this, and I know you and Billy disagree with me, that sometimes there can be a better chance, but it's not a shot on goal. For example, if you shoot across, or if you put a cross in between the keeper and the defenders, and the attackers 3 centimeters away from putting their foot on the end of it, for me that counts as a really good chance rather than it's not even a shot on goal.
Yeah, I don't quite know how this thing is calculated. I mean, there are a few people who listen to this show, Jules, who really know what they're talking about when it comes to football. So, listener, if you agree or disagree with Jules's Jules's opinions on expected goals, then do let us know either in the
Uh,
WhatsApp group
but
or
I
send us a
was
message.
actually going for the statistic. You know, there's three kind of lies, aren't there? Lies, damn lies, and statistics. So
Yes,
yeah, don't
quite
trust the
right.
stats is what my was my argument.
I thought though that watching the game at home, it looked pretty even. You
Yeah.
know, I think we defended really well, not just individually, but as a unit. There were numbers behind the ball defending the goal, and we managed to create chances for ourselves and and kind of get through cups and make those chances. And I wanted to give a bit of a shout out to Lauri Laine, who joined us in the closed season last year, came from Honka. He played quite a few games for Honka last year, including a European game, but he hasn't forced his way into a regular position in the team at SJK. But
It's
I
been a
thought,
very injury-ridden season for him.
yes, yeah,
And
that's
that's
true.
the reason why. Yeah.
Yeah, and also he's trying to take a starting place away from Rasmus Karjalainen and Kasper Paninen and people who are in the team and scoring goals. So it's
Mm,
not just you come here and you're in the team.
yeah.
But I thought he really gave a glimpse of what he can potentially bring to the team in that
Yeah.
last game. That some of his running with the ball was was really impressive, really eye catching. Anyway, and it didn't lead to anything in this particular game directly, um, but certainly a sort of a step in the right direction.
Mm.
And also Air Dumont on the other side, on the right wing. I think it was surprising for me to see that those two started, and you know, Karjalainen and Paninen weren't there from the beginning. Um,
It was a very it was a different starting lineup and it seemed to work.
Yeah, it did seem to work, and Momo had that great shot in the first half, that was sort of tipped over the bar, and I think a lot of KuPS's credit for the 3 points also have to go to their goalkeeper. He's a pain
Ah,
in the
yeah,
neck.
it's been yeah for us all. I mean, every time we play against him,
It
Creedle,
seems it
yeah,
seems to be. Yeah, I mean, again
yeah,
in the cup semi-final, it was him that kind of kept
kept
them
them
in
in
it with
it.
a couple of really
Yeah,
good saves, and he did it again in this last game. Creedle there, he's been there for a good few years now,
yeah, yeah.
and yeah, I mean, I think we threw everything we possibly could at them, but just couldn't quite find the way through.
Mm.
But like, let's talk about KuPS's goal because. But how you were behind the goal? Maybe you had a clearer view because from the TV cameras, it was really unclear what happened.
Yeah, well, um, yeah, it all happened so fast, but the ball goes into the box, and then it was I'm in Marino, but we just see a player go down, clutching
Mm.
their head, and then the play continues. Referee lets it goes on. Um, Jaime gets up and tries to defend. The ball goes through about five people's legs, and they score that 1-0. So um, I've seen. I mean. I've complained about this. Like every time the ball goes into the box, someone clutches their head and
Yeah,
goes
it's true.
down.
It's true.
So this time we were on the end of that the referee decided now was a good time to like, oh, say that they're faking it when every other time I've seen it in this season, then the referee's blown up when the ball's brushed someone's hair.
It was
Um,
easy for him to decline it when it was Moreno as well because he doesn't get that much. I don't know if he's getting a bit of a reputation for going down under a challenge, but he doesn't ever seem to get much. And then there's this one right in the middle of the box, right in front of his own goal.
yeah, I mean, there's something. I'm not sure I should say this, but you sometimes wonder if players from other countries are treated differently. They have a
Right, okay.
reputation already.
Maybe.
And
Maybe.
I'll leave it there
Yeah.
before it gets any deeper, but you sometimes wonder if that is the case.
Well, Stevie said in the post-match press conference, he said that he had seen it from three camera angles, so definitely two more than I had, and
Yeah.
three more than you had from behind
Yeah.
the goal. And he said it was a clear elbow, I think he said, in the head, and said, how are we not stopping for a head injury? Like
Mm.
all season, like you
Yep.
said, someone goes down holding their head, the whistle's blown.
Yep.
And then in this instance, it wasn't. Um, and I think he used the words a disgrace
Yep.
again, which is not the first time.
Mm.
Although last time I think he was talking about his own team
Yep.
rather than the referee.
Yeah.
But um,
Yeah, I agree. I just want to say here, I don't want VAR. I would still
no,
take this
yeah,
loss rather than have VAR for the right things because let's not get into a VAR discussion, but it's ruining football and we don't have it. And thank you very much. I will take the inconsistent refereeing and bad decisions over a 5 minute wait and inconsistent decisions and bad decisions.
yeah, I
So
agree.
yeah.
I'm not up for that
Um,
at all.
and yeah, it's exactly right. Normally, a head injury has been stopped, but then we have to play against the referee. And in Finland, you have to be good enough to be better than bad referees.
Yes, I like the way in the press conference, Stevie, when someone asks him a question, um, he'll sometimes ask a question back and then just pause. And he leaves it just long enough for it to get awkward before he
Mm,
then gives an answer. And he's
mm.
always calm in the answer, but I love that kind of slightly too long
Passive
pause.
aggressive.
No, I don't know. Yeah, maybe, but with the emphasis on the passive, I suppose, because
Yeah.
he'll then go and answer the question that he's asked,
Mm.
but just leaves it hanging there for a moment.
Quite often by asking a question back of the it's a is it a rhetorical question? But it is like quite often he asks a question of the journalist or the room, you tell me, has this happened before? That he'll
Yeah.
he'll ask a question back, which is quite, yeah, his style.
And he also then reiterated in that press conference about how young the SJK team is as well, like 20 average age 22, and said this thing about they're in the first year of development, as in like more than half of the team is playing its first year in the Bakehouse-liga.
Yeah.
And how many players from last year sort of moved on in the closed season, and compared that to KuPS, who seem to have had a lot of the same players for quite a few years and the average age of 27. So to
Mm,
be that competitive
yeah.
against that team that is also used to winning and competing at the top of the table, I think is good. And
Yeah.
there was a question last week on Finnish Football Show. One of the co-hosts, Rasmus, asked the question about why has Asukor faded towards the end of the season? Is it that the tactics that we're playing have become, I don't know, too much,
I don't
a
think the
burden for the
tactics have
players?
changed. And I think going back to your last point is a reason why here that okay, at the end of the season, of course, we're playing the top five teams because that's how it goes.
Mm,
And KuPS found a way to get over the line and to get 3 points with an average age of 27 years. They've got the experience, they can
mm,
get over the line. And that's one goal is 3 points difference. And I don't think the standard of football, except for that one game against VPS,
mm.
has dropped off. So it's just that we're playing the best teams and they've got the experience to get over the line. And I think we've been a bit unlucky. We were all saying that the 2-2 away to Helsinki was a great result at the time, but then we didn't know that Helsinki was going to stop playing the season the
Yes.
next week. So
Yeah.
if we'd played them the same time as Haka played them, Haka beat them at home, then maybe we would have got 3 points there as well. So
Yeah.
it seems that we're unlucky the timing of the Hoyiko game. Um, the KuPS game could have gone either way. And Hacker, we got 3 points. VPS, we were awful. Well, I didn't say we were, did I? But we just didn't go our way. Let's see what happens. I mean, we haven't played bad, and we get a point against Ilves on
Mm.
Saturday.
Well, here's hope. I mean, I think just the final thing is that a lot of the players that are in the team this year were in Stevie's academy team last year playing this same style of football
Yep.
that nearly got the team nearly got the team promoted. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy what they did in that at the end of that season. It was really down to the very last minute of the last game that
And that
saw
really
them
is
drop away.
boys against men. I
Yeah,
mean, it's our academy team, which is basically boys, and against men,
yeah,
senior
yeah. First
teams.
teams from
Yep,
other
yep,
clubs. Yeah, that's
yeah.
right. So
Occasionally we have
no.
a senior player in there, but most players are 21 or under.
So to
Yeah,
answer Rasmus's question, no, it's not too complicated. It's just inexperienced players playing against those that know how to close it out at the moment. And
yeah,
that's there's no, and I actually replied in that at the time that I don't think anyone's unhappy with how this season's gone. I think
yeah,
it's been fun, it's been entertaining, and we're right there near the top of the table, which is
yeah,
where fans want to be.
yeah. Yep.
Right, what about the next? So we'll leave that one behind us and look forward to the next game. You just alluded to hoping to get a point on
Yeah,
Saturday.
I think
This is
things changed, haven't they?
Ilves away.
Yeah. I mean, it was looking like we would be nailed on for fourth place, but then Haka beat uh Hoyiko. I'm not sure if actually Hoyiko went to Valkeakoski to play football. But anyway, I know nothing. I didn't see the game. But anyway, Haka won. Or was it in Helsinki? I can't remember. Do you
It
know?
was in Helsinki. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
one
okay.
nil away to in
Yeah,
Helsinki.
so an amazing result for them. Which kind of opens the door for us to get well, not opens the door. What's the right word? Gives us jeopardy that if Haka beat VPS at the weekend and we don't get anything against Ilves, who are going for the title, then we will be in fifth place. But
Yeah,
I
the
also think that KuPS will beat Hoyiko at home because, as I said, I think Hoyiko have checked out already. So I don't think that uh, I don't think we'll see Ilves celebrating the title in Tampere on Saturday.
yeah, it's interesting looking at the top six, the section we're in. KuPS and Ilves are fighting it out for first and second. Um, us and Haka are fighting it out for fourth and fifth, and Haka and Vepsu are fighting out for fifth and sixth. It's only
Yep.
Hoyuk can't move. It doesn't matter what
Yep.
happens to them, they can't be overtaken, they can't catch up. They're kind of
Yep.
stranded in third place.
Guaranteed European football next season. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually they still have European football this
Yeah.
season. They
Yeah.
they're in the Conference League and I think they played 2 out of 8 games, so they'll be going through until probably early December, and then starting up again in February with a couple more games in Europe, I think.
Yeah. It's understandable to see why their focus might have moved somewhere else.
So, what do you think of Ilves? Let me say this. In that same press conference, Stevie said that along with us, Ilves have played the best football this year, and they've been enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, especially
Uh,
when we beat them 2-0 in the cup. That was really enjoyable to watch.
yeah, that's right. I mean, we've had a decent season against them, and he made that point as well. I think we've what two wins and a draw so far,
Yeah, I
and
think the draw as well, it was 2-2. It was a couple of days after the
mm,
2-0 win in the cup.
mm.
And the referee again, yeah, again, they got some really lucky decisions then, I think, if I remember correctly, or maybe I'm just being biased, but it felt like what again, offside goal kind of thing. And yeah,
I
so
don't often watch.
I think we have been better than Ilves
I don't often
when we've
watch
played against them.
Veikkausliiga games as a neutral, but I think this could be quite a good game for those neutrals. Obviously, we'll be there in the stand. We're on the Klopit bus. I think there may be a few seats left. So if you're listening to this and you want to come along, then you might still be able to get a seat on the bus. Um, but the game, we're going to be there in the stand making noise. I always feel like we're part of the game rather than watching the game
And that's
when
always
we're
been
when
my
we're there.
philosophy. I don't go
Yeah,
to watch, I go to participate.
yeah. But
Sometimes a bit too much.
the game, that's true. That's true. The game will be a sellout, and hopefully there's going to be about 180 SJK fans there as well. So,
Yeah, I'm wondering as well, because I know some people who are going down who I play football with,
hmm.
and they organised it a long time ago, and I reckon that they might be in not I don't think all SJK fans are going to be in the SJK zone.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I reckon there'll be some dotted around as well.
Right. Okay. Let's see how that comes along. I'm actually looking forward to hopefully meeting up with Rasmus and Jamie, who are connected to the Finnish football show, who are both Ilves fans down there in Tampere, just to say hi. I don't know if we're going to have much time to hang around, but at least to say hi, maybe before the game. That would be nice.
Yeah, I don't want to see their disappointed faces after the game.
Yeah, I'd like to see them sobbing into their green and yellow scarves. I don't mind that at all.
That's the kiss of death, that, isn't it? They're going to be really smug now.
And excuse me, you talked just now about the possible permutations of where things might end up at the end of the season, and maybe we can finish off by just with a comment that Larry made in the WhatsApp group in explaining how things might be, and I think this clears everything up. We finish in 4th place if we win or draw at Ilves away in the last round of the Veikkausliiga. Or if we lose, then Haka should not win at home against VPS. If we lose and Haka win, then Haka ends up in 4th place and us in 5th. With a draw, we get 4th place if we don't lose by 8 goals to Ilves.
Well, we can't. If we get a draw, we can't lose by 8 goals.
Are you actually trying to? Oh, maybe he meant with the draw for. I don't know what he meant. That was my whole point. It's so complicated. I think you summed it up.
We need a point.
Before.
We need a point. And if we don't get a point, then we need VPS. We need Haka not to win. That's it.
Yeah, that will do. That's good permutations. I reckon that Stevie and the boys should just go there and win. Start to take all the jeopardy out of it for us, and then.
I mean, there is this psychology thing. Is like Ilves have got to win. I don't think they'll win the league, but they don't know that, and they've got to, because all the games obviously are being played at the same time. So they've got to go in it assuming that KuPS slip up against HJK. So they need to win, and so that's a draw is not good enough for them. So if it's 1-1, 2-2. They're going to be pushing forward, and hopefully that leaves lots of spaces for us to make it 3-2.
Yeah, that's quite right. And there are anywhere between 1 and 3 home games for us after this, depending on the results. So, listener, you'll either hear from us a couple more times or several more times before the end of the season.
Yeah.
The
so
jeopardy...
everybody's hoping for an SJK win.
Exactly. Yeah, the jeopardy goes on in so many different ways. I think, Jules, that we're kind of there for this week. Let's just give a little shout out also to the Klopit Association. We've talked about them on a couple of occasions before, but just to remind everybody that the supporters group behind the goal has sort of formed as an official association, and you can find out more about them on their website, which is meidenkerho.fi.
Join them as well. You get discounts on away games.
Yeah, 25 euros for a year, and then there's discounted travel and things like that. So you'll get your money back fairly soon if you travel.
And if you don't, then it's a good cause anyway.
And a good motivation to start traveling.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, that just about wraps it up for this episode. Remember to subscribe to the show wherever you're listening or watching.
You can contact the Seinäjoki Supporters Podcast by email at seinäjokifootballpod@gmail.com, and you can find links to all our content on Linktree at linktree/SeinäjokiFootballPod.
Brilliant. We also have a WhatsApp group that we've referred to a couple of times where we continue the conversation in between episodes. It's open to any fan of SJK. So if you want to join, email us, or if you know us, send us a message and we'll send you the link to the group.
So until the next episode, see you in Tampere or see you online. Goodbye.
Paper.
And you can find links to all our content on Linktree at https://linktree. Okay. Oh, on Linktree Seinäjoki Football Pod. You'll find it somewhere.
Do you want to do that last sentence again? I'll cut it out.
Or you can leave it in. I don't care.